Hello, guys. So, today we will be telling you all about an exciting and interesting story written by Bradley D. Harris. The title of the story is The Little Ridley.
I woke up in the morning and saw the sun shining. I looked around, wondering where I was. That's when I remembered. I was a baby sea turtle, an olive ridley, in the middle of this big blue world, which I heard someone call the ocean. Blue and green water were in every direction, and the sunlight was playing games with the clouds. I tucked my flippers beneath my body and floated for a while, not doing anything, just letting the current carry me. I did not know where I was, but that does not matter as long as the sun is shining and my stomach is full. The sun warmed me, and it filled me with energy.
Just as I was beginning to think that I would love to spend the rest of my life here, a school of fish went by. There was a really big fish chasing them. I could tell he was a really hungry fish too. When he saw me, his eyes lit up. Mm, he seemed to be thinking, "Hooray! One special baby turtle soup is coming right up." Realizing the danger that was coming, I quickly swam as fast as I could, with those big teeth snapping at my little hint flippers.
I then saw a seaweed raft, just as I was beginning to tired. There's a floating mass of seaweed and driftwoods that travel around the ocean, which was carried along by the current. All the seas, little and not so little creatures that float around the ocean, waiting for something to happen on and in the raft. The drifters. Gratefully, I slipped into the raft as I was not leave this safe haven for many, many years.
Being on the raft was like going on a cruise. I very much enjoyed it, but as I grew up, I made the decision to explore the big wide world outside. I had heard wonderful things outside, including a place called the reef, where a lot of other turtles lived. Everyone said the reef was the heaven of the ocean. They said it was full of amazing, wondrous creatures, both harmless ones like the clownfish and poisonous ones like the scorpionfish. And I wondered, how would I find it?
All of a sudden, it became very dark. A huge shadow covered me. Scared, I looked up, only to see the biggest turtle I had ever seen. However, something left me a question mark. Why was his back soft and leathery? I stared. A turtle with a soft back? All the ones I know have very hard backs. The big turtle caught me staring. "Ha ha ha! Are you surprised, little one?" He grunted pleasantly. "You should not be. I am a leatherback turtle,"
Good name, sir.
I mumbled.
Sir, where are you going? To live with the other turtles on the reef?
I asked. Ah, sighed the leatherback. "I wish I had that luxury, but no, I am too busy searching for jellyfish. They are all I eat,"
Where do you find them?
I continued. "Out into the deep, deep sea," said the leatherback. "To reach them, sometimes I have to dive more than 1,000 feet, and sometimes I go all the way towards Canada. That's where the water gets cold. In such cold waters, no other reptile could survive."
Mm, Sir, I don't want to be a little rude turtle, but can I ask you a question?
"Feel free to do so," said the leatherback. I said quietly.
Honestly, can I ask how much you weigh?
"Nearly 600 kilograms, little one," replied the leatherback, looking amused. "And I am proud of all of it, including the fat. for it's the fat that helps me get through the long migrations. Well, I have to be off now,
Of course, sir.
I said,
Could you tell me where I might find the reef before you go?
pointing with a flipper as he swam off. The leatherback said, that way. As I swam toward the reef, I called out saying,
Thank you, sir, and happy hunting!
I met an old green turtle when it was on the reef. The one who told me old green was nearly 50 years old was my friend, Hawksbill, whose mouth is curved like a hawk's beak.
Oh my, this old,
I said,
but she looks so young.
yeah, well, Hawksbill said. Green turtle only eats seagrass and algae, so she took nearly 50 years to become an adult, while you and I will become adults when we are 10. Do you know, he continued, that when she wants to nest, she migrates to islands in the middle of the ocean. Clear blue lagoons, white sand. They're beautiful.
Have you been there?
I asked curiously. Oh, yes. Sometimes you have to use lots of effort to crawl over the coral to get to the beach, said Hawksbill.
I shuddered. Crawling over sharp coral is the thing that I would hate to do, as I prefer soft sand more under my soft belly. Another Ridley told me, You won't have to do it, don't worry. The ones on the coast of Mexico, Costa Rica, and India are the only soft beaches we rest on. But you'll see for yourself when it's time. The loggerhead swam off in a different direction as he sniffed.
It's only about 2,000 kilometers.
Show off. Loggerheads like him sometimes swim almost 50,000 kilometers to lay their eggs, from California all the way across the Pacific Ocean to Japan. I continued gorging on flying fish, my favorite food, as I ignored him. And the big journey began. I was swimming powerfully as the water around me was full of other Ridleys.
it was not an easy journey. Along the way, there were many dangers lurking. So I was now bigger than most of the fish. There were still predator fish such as sharks that could catch us. But the sharks were not as dangerous as the many fishing nets that we had to swim past. Trust me, the fishing nets are more dangerous than any sharks in this ocean.
Avoiding all the nets, especially the terrible trawl nets, I swam as carefully as I could. I did manage to escape them all, but some of my friends weren't so lucky. I finally reached the beach of Garimata, which is the place where more Ridleys nest than anywhere else in the Indian Ocean. It was time for me to lay my first nest.
We nest in the night. I waited until the tide was higher, so that I wouldn't have that far to crawl on the beach. I felt land under me for the first time since my birth as I came with a surf. It felt very weird at first. Slowly, I dragged myself up the beach to find a dry spot. Once I had moved past the high tide line, I could feel the sand getting drier, and it flew all around me as I was dragging myself forward with my front flippers. It is quite difficult to move on land. I had to pause to take a break. I looked up and I saw the long and dark beach. There was a huge dune and some bushes behind the beach. I had heard there was a large forest behind this beach called Itarkanika, which was full of saltwater crocodiles, king cobras, and all kinds of other animals. Then, suddenly, I saw another animal on the beach. It had four legs, and it was digging up a turtle nest. I went back into the water as fast as I could. Later that night, I crawled out again and went up the beach into the Ipomia rivers.
On the beach at my chosen spot, I cleared away the dry sand. With my flippers, I made a big pit. I am very specific about how exactly I do this. I put one flipper in after the other, scoop up sand and sand before throwing out. About 2 feet deep and shaped like a flask with a narrow neck leading to a deep cavity, it was a beauty. I then began laying my precious eggs. 1, 2, 3, 44, 45, 99, 100, and then I was done.
After looking at my precious eggs for the last time, I carefully covered it with the sand and tumbed it down with my body. Finally, I threw some sand that was piling around to make sure that no one would find my nest. Quickly, quickly. I felt much safer when I crawled back into the sea. And after that, we were all rushing up the beach together. The beach was already full, as we were all bumping into each other. There were thousands of other Ridleys with sand flying in the air. I managed to find a clear spot finally. I dug a nest for myself. The turtle next to me started to lay eggs in such a hurry. She didn't even finish digging her nest.
We the turtles never do that. I was shocked.
That's an arabada, lady.
She said.
During this time, we all get a little crazy.
Nobody really knows why we do this, but as long as it helps us, I'm fine with it. Thanks to that, millions of hatchlings hatch at the same time. That way, most of the little ones escape being caught by birds, crabs, and jackals. These days, of course, we still have to be worried about a new threat, the humans. During an arribada, which means arrival in Spanish, thousands of olive ridleys come ashore in a frenzy to nest. Scientists still aren't unsure why they do this. It is finally my time to leave and return to my feeding ground. For another visit to Glea, I will spend a year or two there, eating and building up my energy. On the other hand, queen turtle sometimes need to eat for 5 or 6 years before she has the energy to make her next journey to nest.
I think of the little ones I have left behind as I leave. The eggs will remain under the sand for 50 to 60 days, warmed by the sun. And one day they will hatch. With the tips of their snouts, they will break open their shells. Over 100 hatchlings will huddle together under the sand, waiting for the sun to set and the sand to cool. Then, in the darkness of night, when it is safe, they will rush to camp out all at once. They will see the moonlight bouncing off the sea and know which way to go. Hopefully, there will be no street lights around to make them go in the wrong direction. The oncoming breakers, they will swim against the waves and dive under it, and there will be a big and small fish out to get them, seagulls and eagles, where some will get away. They will find their own little seaweed raft, their floating homes for many years out in the open sea.
Then they will grow up. They will perhaps come to my feeding ground. Perhaps we will meet. But of course, I will not know them. Still, I am delighted knowing that they are still out there somewhere. And when the time comes, they will find themselves returning to this very beach to lay their own eggs and start the whole wonderful cycle of life all over again.
Next, let's watch the music video and sing it together.
Let's see what we can do to save the planet for me and you. Let's see what we can do to save the planet for me and you. Earth, planet Earth is a happy place. Earth, planet Earth is a happy place. Na 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 na. Let's see what we can do to save the planet for me and you. Let's see what we can do to save the planet for me and you. E is for environment, keep it clean. If we stand together, we'll make the best team. A is for the animals that we love, swimming and walking and flying above. Na 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 na. Let's see what we can do to save the planet for me and you. Let's see what we can do to save the planet for me and you. R is for recycle or use it again. Separate your trash into the right bin. T is for traveling every day. Leave the car and walk this way. Na 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 na. Let's see what we can do to save the planet for me and you. Let's see what we can do to save the planet for me and you. H is for humans, that's what we are. If we work together, we can go so far. Earth, planet Earth is a happy place. Na 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 na. Let's see what we can do to save the planet for me and you. Let's see what we can do to save the planet for me and you. Let's see what we can do to save the planet for me and you. Let's see what we can do to save the planet for me and you.
Now, let's get to know the people who worked hard for making this video behind the scene.
Hello, my name is Ilham Sofia binti Jamshari. I played as Ridley and another Ridley.
So, hello, my name is Muhammad Mustaqim bin Magani. So, in the story, I play the character as the leatherback and the big fish.
Good morning. My name is Feng Shimin. In this story, I played a character as the loggerhead, the lady turtle, and Huxbill. And the narrator character was taken by all three of us by taking turns. In this digital storytelling and the song, we could train our students for the listening skills. As we listen to the story, we can grasp and understand the knowledge and the vocab in the story. And also, all our pronunciations and grammar in the story could also be learned by the students as part of improving their listening skills.
Okay, so I really hope all of you who watch this video have some fun watching us presenting the story. So in this video, actually, we are trying to teach the speaking skills to the student. So the first about speaking skills, the first we want to teach the student is about the correct pronunciation of word. For example, throughout the video song that we teach students to say the correct pronunciation of us, for example, cars, green shirt. And so by this video we also want to teach students to be more brave, to speak English more frequently throughout the song. So they may think that the song is very catchy, so they may sing it very frequently. As at the same time, they will also teach themselves to be more fluent in English. So that is the end of our video. Firstly, I want to give the credits to the members of Group 6 for making this educational video. The first person is Ilham Sofia binti Jamshari. The next one is Muhammad Mustaqim bin Magani, and the last but not least, Fong Sherming. We hope by watching this video, this will help students in their development of listening and speaking skills in the ALS classroom. So that is all from us, and once again thank you for watching this video. We hope you enjoy it, and see you soon. Bye.